Today we're looking at Wrong Turn, a 2021 reimagining of an old franchise directed by Mike P. Nelson and starring Charlotte Vega. It follows 6 teens who go to West Virginia for a hiking trip where they take a wrong turn and end up in quite a sticky situation.
Now that's what I call a sticky situation.
I'm usually not on board with the remake reboot trend, but while I like the Wrong Turn franchise and think a couple of them are great, the last few movies showed that the makers really stopped giving a fuck. They weren't even trying to build a consistent world, even by slasher franchise standards. Honestly, we don't ask for much, but maybe just don't come up with a new contradictory origin every single installment. So yeah, this reboot really didn't bother me. This movie's hard to review spoiler free, but I'm gonna do the best I can. The direction they took was different. If you're going in having seen the other movies, you'll be surprised. For me, it was a pleasant one. I can't dwell on the story too much, but it is definitely a cool concept that is far less explored than Inbred Cannibals. The first thing I liked about the direction of this movie is the message behind it. It isn't exactly subtle, but I think it's still pulled off and very relevant in our current climate. It's the kind of political and social commentary that's starting to feel mandatory in every movie these days, for better or worse, but it doesn't pick a side, which is great in my opinion and was actually almost a misdirect in itself, because you're so used to seeing a clear black or white when it comes to that, and this one keeps it pretty gray. All the technical stuff, the acting, production value, cinematography hasn't been this high since the first. This isn't a highbrow movie, but it also isn't a direct-to-video slasher franchise anymore. The cinematography is art housey at times, the special effects are practical and top-notch. This movie is brutal. Gore fans will be pleased, but at the same time none of the kills are gratuitous like a slasher film. They're all done to move the plot or evoke emotions in almost all cases, and it's pulled off pretty well. There's also several nods to the old franchise, a lot of them used really well to subvert your expectations, and as a fan of a few of those movies, I really liked what they did with it. One flaw I picked up on after the fact from seeing other reviews is the story's consistency. Again, it's hard to get into without spoiling it, because I did see the vague spoilery thing in question that tied it all together, but it wasn't conveyed very clearly. It's a plot point that I saw that I noticed a lot of people didn't, or maybe just aren't mentioning, and I think I easily could have missed it, and it should have been explored more and punctuated, because without it, the motives and really just the sympathetic aspect of one of the parties involved really just kind of falls apart. Also, things do run a little long. The ending is great, I think it made the movie better, but it is preceded by a false ending and kind of feels different from the rest of the movie. Again, it's a great ending and I wouldn't want to see it changed, but it just felt weird tacked onto the rest of the movie as it was. I think anyone into horror should be checking this out. Don't let the reputation of the franchise dissuade you. It walks a line between art house and slasher, and has a lot of effective twists and turns, and a solid message that not only doesn't isolate the audience, but I think everyone could benefit from thinking about. For the Wrong Turn crowd, I actually think this movie is even better. There are quite a few moments that this movie purposely lead you to a wrong turny kind of moment, only to veer off, and some of those moments were great, and I'd almost say this is a must watch if you like the originals. Whether you consider this a remake, a reboot, or a reimagining, I think this is one of the good ones. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Until next time.